Stephen, we've spoke to Carl. He's obviously made the brave and difficult decision to hand on the captaincy, and of course you want to have a few words on that and his decision to do so.
Yeah, me and Carl have spoke at length about it. I spoke to Carl towards the end of last season. You know, he came to me. Obviously, he's a very conscientious boy. He wants to do the very best for the football club, and Carl just felt that, you know, with the extra pressure of being captain, with the season that we had, which was a lot of responsibility put on him in terms of the cup finals, etc., that he just felt he could give more to the team, perhaps when he didn't have it. So for me, it's a very selfless act. He's someone that's, you know, thought it the whole thing through. As I say, he's a conscientious boy that wants to do as best as he possibly can for Motherwell Football Club, and he just felt that perhaps somebody else taking that armband may allow him to concentrate on his game and improve another 5%. So I admire him. I've total admiration for him. You know, he's a great boy, and nothing changes with Carl. You know, Carl will still give me 110% every time he walks on the pitch. One of his biggest concerns was he wasn't sure whether, you know, I would be under pressure to pick him or not, because he was captain, and I reassured him that that's not the case. I pick people who I think should play, and Carl was obviously one of those on many occasions. So it was a tough decision for him, but one I totally respect.
Yeah, and likewise, he mentioned that respect for you, and he said that he felt he could approach you and discuss something that might have been quite hard for other players to do. You have a lot of respect for the fact that he came to you like that, don't you? Yeah,
I think it just shows the extent of a relationship, and I'd like to think I've got that with the vast majority of boys, if not all of them. You know, if they've got a problem, come and talk about it. And, you know, Carl, as I say, he had thought deeply about it over the summer months. We spoke about it, we sat down again, and, you know, we both agreed that, you know what, he did look fresher. There was a little bit less pressure on him. When you're captain, you get scrutinised for absolutely everything. So, you know, when you play games and you lose, the first person people turn on is the captain, and it's difficult. I had a very similar experience at Luton when, you know, we got relegated. I was captain due to injury of somebody else, and you take a lot of responsibility on, and it ends up eating away at you. It ends up taking away your private life as well, and, you know, you can't get away from it. So it's a difficult one, and I totally understand from Carl, and I have total, as I say, I have total admiration for him, that the fact that he was big enough to stand up and say, you know, I think I can contribute more without being captain, because I can assure you he will be not playing any different. You know, I don't think it affects Carl's game in any shape or form, so we've no problems with that whatsoever.
And of course, you've mentioned that, and the fact it's been very harmonious, hasn't it? And there will be other people that will step up, and it won't change Carl's contribution. But moving forward, Peter Hartley will obviously step up to the mantle as well now.
Yeah, Peter was an obvious choice for me. You know, it's in Peter's character. You know, he's a natural born leader. He's loud. He's got the boys that, you know, have total respect for him. Carl had it in a different way. You know, Carl was quieter, you know, and what he done on the pitch and how he went about himself and conducted himself. You know, but he would be a quieter character. You know, and probably would be on his own a little bit more. Peter has that respect in the dressing room as well as Carl did, and, you know, I think he'd be fantastic for the football club. You know, whoever has the armband on, what we more or less said from last season was, put a lot of pressure on one person. Stephen Hamill retiring, he was vice captain halfway through the season, you know, put even more pressure on people. So what we've done this year is we've got a little group of boys, some of the older boys, if we have older boys, that I can speak to, ask their opinion, you know, get their feeling for what's going on in the dressing room and what's needed and what's not needed, instead of putting it on to one person. But, you know, in terms of who will lead the football club forward on the pitch, you know, it'll be very much Peter Hartley, backed by, you know, a lot of group of players who I feel could all step up to be captain.
Yeah, and having spoke to Carl about this, he was full of praise of obviously yourself, but Peter as well, who supported him as captain last season. Carl will do that same support. You must be proud that you've created that atmosphere in the dressing room of a close-knit squad.
Yeah, I think only one person can have the armband and, you know, be the one that sort of is the one that's identified, but we've got 5 or 6 boys in that dressing room who lead the football club with or without the armband, and Carl's one of those and will continue to be one of those. As I've said before, how he conducts himself. Peter Hartley's the same. You know, he's a character. He's a strong character, you know, and he has the total respect of the boys, and what he does give to the team as well is a voice. We are quite a quiet team. We're a very, very young squad, and he has that experience of being captain and leading players and, you know, organising, which is something I think we can be better at.